Welcome to this new mod map tour on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. Welcome to ALSOSZEG Agri Farm, or as it says on the actual map, it says on the flag just there, ALSOSZEG Agri KFT. KFT is Hungarian and it means stands for Kola Tolt Felelősségű Társaság, which actually in Hungarian means Limited Liability Corporation. There you go, just sort of throw it in, a bit of extra information for you. This is set in Hungary. It's a fictitious map. This is new to console, and this is by gamerhzs, BaluFSH, featuring Not Ready, who did some of the mods and various bits and bobs, you know, tweaking and twiddling, that kind of thing. I've had a quick whiz round, as I often do. Sometimes I do a complete, fresh, this is an absolute first look. But this, I've had a bit of a look round. I know I say it a lot when maps come out. I like this. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and I'll go around, I'll show you where everything is. I will probably give you my opinion. It'll be quite obvious whether I like a map or dislike a map. But that is my opinion. You may not, but at least you get to have a look at it and have a think about whether or not you might want to play on it or something along those lines. Now, it's not a big map, and it's not really designed for big machinery. I would say small to medium stuff would be okay, but obviously with the way you can change maps now with placeables and landscaping and stuff like that, there are some things you'll be able to do. I've got this set on normal mode at the moment, and I'm on New Farmer, and this uses 628 of 1299 slots if you come on New Farmer. If you come on Farm Manager or Start from Scratch, it's 519 out of 1299, but you can drop that back a little bit, and I'll explain why in a little while. We'll have a look on the map as we often do at the start, just to give you an idea. That's the overview of the map. So it's quite a small map, doesn't take up the whole grid. Now interestingly, well, I'll show you actually in a minute. What do we actually start with? Well, we start off with this main farm area here. I think the concept being the farm kind of fell into disrepair. No one's farmed it since, I think it says on the Modhub, like the early 2000s. So it's all kind of all closed up. You've got this big area in the middle around field 1, but we do also start with field 12 down here, field 29 up here, and this little area here, which is a little yard, we kind of own up the top. Now, as is usual on maps, you need to own the biogas if you're going to use it, but the biogas plant is only 101,000, so not hugely out of people's reach if you want to own the biogas plant and do biogas. Prices, fields and stuff vary from all the way down to 34 grand. I think there's one down here for about 5 grand. 5,812, up to some of the bigger fields here, field 8, which runs at 315. Up the top we've got some nice forested areas, and you can buy these in little chunks. Again, I like that. You can do some forestry, but you don't have to spend a lot of money to get these areas. I know, to be fair, with forestry, if you wanted to, hang on, I was going to show you in a second, you could do some forestry and then sell the land back, I guess, afterwards, which is a bit harsh, but you could do. But this is the weird bit. As you kind of move across the forestry areas, you get to this here, which highlights the entire map, 2/3 of which you can't use, and says that's going to cost you 20 million, which seems a little bit excessive to me. But there are a lot of sections on this you can't actually even get to, which, again, why would you pay for areas of the map you can't even get to? So yeah, I don't suppose you'd want to. To be fair, this area here is the only bit that you can actually log. This bit here looks very cool, and we'll get to that later on, but there's not really any trees you can log on there. So that's kind of the map overview in essence. As far as what do we kind of start with? Well, sell points, we've got the barn, central grain elevator, dairy station, grain elevator east, grain mill, railroad silo east, sawmill, selling station 2 and train station mill. Now when I saw train station mill, railroad silo east, straight away I thought, oh, there's a railway. There is, but not with trains on you can use. It's there to kind of add to the map. It's an unusable railway. On New Farmer, we do start with crops in the silo, and the silo is a 200,000 litre silo. I think that's pretty much. There's a couple of odd ones here. Selling station 2 and train station mill down the bottom. Here, if we scroll across, we've got an odd mix here in that, oh no, railroad silo east. Railroad silo east, you sell your sugar beet. Train station mill, you sell your potatoes. They're not at the same sell point. However, when we get to it, technically it is. Selling station 2 is kind of your spinnery. There isn't actually a spinnery, but selling station 2 is where you sell your cotton, your wool, and interestingly eggs. and obviously we've got our main sell points, so these ones up the top here with grain mill, grain elevator east, and central grain elevator. But which brings me back to the map. It's one of my little bugbears. It's a tiny thing, but this is the eastern side of the map. That's the western side of the map, right? That does say railroad silo east, which is fine. This one says central grain elevator, and that one says grain elevator east. Shouldn't they be the other way around? It's a minor thing. I know it's, you know, it's not a massive problem, but it's just, you know, just I point it out. Right, so we're going to do a kind of, well, we'll do a loop around the map. You'll get to see everything. So we start here at the main entrance, pretty much central to the whole map. The detailing on these, the signs and stuff, it's brilliant. So, come through the main gate. It's almost like everything went up for auction and what didn't get sold got left behind. There's plenty of barn space, loads of barn space and shelter space on this map. And here's the machinery we start with. Very cool. We've got the Case 7210 Pro, we've got the little Fiat Agri 1300, or the Fiat, sorry, 1300, TX32, headers over there, small cultivator, plough, we've got the Kuhn Mega Sprayer, power harrow, seeder, and we've got the header trailer just there, and we've got a trailer just under here. And that's pretty much it for what we start with. So it's small machinery, kind of get the ball rolling type thing. The lighting, I did speed up time a little bit up to 20 past 10, but you get that feeling that unless the lighting is directly behind you, like that, there's a lot of kind of shaded, shadowy bits, but that's the lighting system, you know, as we kind of find it. We've got a workshop just through here. Fuel point just there. If we click on that, we can repair, customize, sell, but these do open. Now this is a fairly standard map in so much as a lot of the features and the map design itself comes kind of, you get that feeling comes straight from the kind of Giants system. There are a couple of mods on this which we'll have a look at in a second. Like I say, no shortage of storage space. We've got barns around the side here, all of which doors open. These two here, that one and that one. I like the layout of it. I don't know why. It has a very kind of, I know I've said it on a few maps recently, a kind of natural feel to it. It doesn't feel contrived and laid out in a... It's more kind of higgledy-piggledy. I know it's a really weird word and all of you might not have heard before, but that it's kind of progressed and built up over time rather than a kind of set planned, let's lay out a farm kind of thing. This is your main silo. That's obviously the silo itself. Now this is why I said about being small to medium machinery. That's where you unload into the silo, but when for filling back up again, that's quite small. So for bigger trailers and stuff, you might, well, you should be able to get them under there, but it's tight. Let's just say that. Yeah, but I like it. We have got a plane that buzzes around, does loops around the map. Lime purchasing point is just there. Actually, I need to check that, whether you have to pay or whether that's free. You normally have to pay. Water point on this map. There is a water tower over the back we'll get to in a second. Now, we do have pigs. We don't have pigs, but we've got the pig sty is already here on the map. Your feed trough is just here. All these hay bales, I did have a look around because they look incredibly real, like the ones you can pick up. They're not. They're all just there for looks. You can't actually get into the pig sty because normally the feed trough area is across that side, but it's not. All the feed points around the outsides here. Bedding goes into this section just here. This is where you buy, sell or unload your pigs into the pigsty itself, and then the feed trough, sorry, the water trough is around this side. What I do like is they've made sure you're under no illusions that is the water trough. There's water puddles all the way around it. It's kind of obvious that's what it's for. I like the fact they've done that. The same with the straw bit. Sometimes you drive around thinking I have no idea where the straw goes in on this map. They've put straw on the ground. It's kind of obvious that's where the straw goes. So I like that. And then we've got this like pit. I don't know if that's for cleaning vehicles and water trough type thing, I guess. But you've got your slurry and manure from the pigs comes out here and here. We do have a bunker silo that we start with, and I'll show you those in a moment in the things we own, because these are part of the mods. That is a modded bunker silo, not one of your standard ones. And then we come on to this cow pasture, which is also a mod part of this map. It's a slightly different design. You've got your slurry and your manure point just there. I thought this was a pig food buy point, but it's not. It's just a silo just put there to, I don't know, confuse you. Gate opens into the field pasture just there, he says. The gate does open. And this is your buy, sell, deliver point for your animals, should you want to do them directly at the farm itself. Water trough is out in the middle here, again with water around it, no mistaking, this is your water trough. And if we come around into the actual barn itself, we've got our feed trough. We can open these up. The doors are incredibly fast. I don't think they need to be dialed back a little bit. Wow. Reminds me of the blast door on Star Wars A New Hope. Up in the control room on the Death Star. That real quick kind of... I don't know. It just stuck in my head. Yeah, so your feed and your straw comes in here. Now there is... There's probably now's a good time to show it. The water tower... Sorry, I should have done the water tower a minute ago. The water tower is that big bulbous thing just there. The water is free. And as we go around the map, there are a few fords around the map as well. And when I say fords, I don't mean Ford tractors. I mean fords as in fording rivers. You can get free water at the fords, but not anywhere along the rivers. I did try that as well. So that's the main farm area, the bit we kind of own where we start from. So as far as, hang on, this is the one I want. When we go to placeables and then animal pens, we've got your standard Giants ones. Now as we get to the end, you've got the modded one here. We've got a modded cow pasture, which takes 150 cows for 65 grand, which is pretty good. I like that. And then we've got free range chicken mod that we can place as well. And we'll get to the free range chickens. Takes 400 for 4 grand, which I think is brilliant too. Interestingly, the pig pen isn't on here as a mod. If we go to the garage to see what vehicles we own, we go through the vehicles I've already shown you out on the area. So we've got the cow pasture, the free range chickens, and the large grain silo and the bunker silo. But the pig pen isn't on there. If I want to, I can sell all of those and they disappear off the map. But the pig pen stays where it is, which is interesting that that's been put on there but isn't removable. I don't know why that is. But what is also kind of missing, we haven't got a farmhouse. There's nowhere to skip through the night. Not that I've come across anyway. So you may need to place one on this at any point, whichever you'd rather do. Contracts are available. I do need to check that as well, just to make sure we're... There we go. Contracts are available on here. Prices aren't going to be huge because the fields aren't huge. You're not going to make a fortune doing contracting on this map. However, it may be enough to cover worker expenses and those kind of things. A bit of fertiliser here and there. But then again, the flip side of that is if you're going to be going out fertilising fields and things, you're not going to be using a huge amount of fertiliser, so it's not going to be too much of a problem. I'm going to go and grab a vehicle and we're going to head around the map. I like it. It has a really nice feel to it. It's well made. I mean, you know, like I say, there are going to be bits and bobs people are going to pick up, but the more of these maps get played on, people will find issues, things will crop up and people say, oh, well, actually, this is wrong, that's wrong, you know. There might not be. You might find that everything is absolutely perfect on it. But the more a map gets played on by more and more people, then, you know, little things get picked up. I like the fact you've got all these like little concrete patches all over the place. You get the feeling that areas that become quite boggy over time when they've had rain and that kind of stuff, they've had to put concrete down so vehicles don't get bogged down. Right, we're going to head north first. There's something on it. Oh, I mean, there's some really cool features on this map. I'm really enjoying it. So we're going to head north. I've got the map open in the bottom left-hand corner, so see where we're going. We own field 1, that small field just to the right of us here. But field 2 is right on top of it, but not expensive to buy. So if you want to buy them and extend, absolutely. There's lots of these little tracks crisscrossing the map, which I like. Now, this is a kind of map of two halves. In the top part of the map up here, we've got all the roadways and we've got a lot of sell points. I'm going to turn left here. The bottom half of the map doesn't. It has more little tracks and stuff, which I like. The water courses on this are great. It's not hilly, but it has those undulations. It has some really nice features on this, again, which gives it a real natural feel. I wouldn't say I'd say realistic feel. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a virtual farm, isn't it? But you know what I mean? It kind of has that feel to it. I'll show you one of the Fords here. I kind of drove around, and you know, you find areas on a map you think are really picturesque as a real. I came out here to check out the grass field, and I love these Fords. But like looking across at that, it just has a really lovely, picturesque vibe to it, you know. Anyway, that's one of the grass fields. I think there are 8 grass fields on this map that you can buy up to do grass work and stuff, or you can plough them if you want to and have more fields. It's entirely up to you. Back out onto the main road. We'll cross the river now, and we'll go to the store first, and we'll kind of do a route round, taking in everything we can, really. I like the placement of old tractors, farm machinery at stores and things like that. I like, you know, maps that have a kind of lived-in feel to them. You feel like it's a living, breathing thing. So there's your customization by sell point, repair point. Your purchase point. I thought it said fish shop. That's the FSH shop. So you've got a cash point here, and you've got your store, buy and sell point just there. If you reset vehicles, they do reset back here to the main shop. So if you roll something over or something goes horribly wrong, they do reset here. I'm going to grab the tractor because I want to show you something. You'll have seen it from the thumbnail if I used that thumbnail. Depends which one. We've got a vehicle test track. This is brilliant. Now, I was talking to Virtual Farmer at the weekend when we were in Zurich at the game show for the Farming Simulator League about his Land Rover mod and it being released as a lizard mod potentially, and he said the problem is if you do that you have to change it so much that it's not recognisable as a Land Rover and it ceases to be a Land Rover. But I get the feeling this would be a great testing track with a vehicle with real good suspension. But anyway, so we've got a test track. There's a little train that runs along the back as well. That kind of goes, you get one every now and again, goes along the back, which again gives you that feel that the map's alive, you know, that there's stuff happening. This is really cool. So it's a very clever feature, very natural. It's not at all glitchy. It works incredibly well. But you get that kind of impression. You think you're coming to buy a vehicle, and they'll have a test vehicle out here that you can have a go with. But it's absolutely fantastic. There you go. Test the lean capabilities of your tractor. How far would it go before it will tip over on a hilly field? But absolutely brilliant. Real nice touch. Now, how much you're going to use it, it may be a bit gimmicky in so much as you'll have a bit of a play on it to start off with, and you might try a few different vehicles to test out the suspension on them. But even if it is a gimmick, so what? It's cool. I like it. Continuing on from the store. So we are on the western side of the map now. That train line marks the edge of the map. That's as far as you can go. Because even if you buy for 20 odd million that whole blue section, you can't use it, you can't go onto it. We're going to head left here and up to some of the sell points. We've got a little train station just here. Go across there, person comes. Little train station just to the left there with a little platform. Nice touch. Let's open the gate here. When I came to this first of all, I couldn't see the gap in this, and I thought that's a bit weird, but it does open from the middle. There we go. So we've got 2 sell points here. We've got one there and one over here. This is your milk sell point, your dairy. This one, my mind's gone blank. Oh, this is the one that's like the spinnery, I think, isn't it? Because you've got the wool bales there. We will just have a double check on that. I don't want to get them wrong. So we're up the top left hand corner then, so we're in the northwest corner of the map. So dairy station and selling station 2. And like I said, selling station 2 is the one where you can do, interestingly, you can do your cotton, you can do wool, and you can do eggs. Interesting combination of things at that sell point. So that's those 2 sell points there. Selling station 2 and your dairy station is just there. Seems to be undergoing some renovations possibly. Right, moving on. I do like the fact that if you get up here and decide you've changed your mind, there's like a little, I don't know if it's a turn-in circle or a path for people, but it does give you that option for turning around some larger vehicles if you need to. Get out of the road. So this is the little town, the village of ALSOSZEG itself. That's what I mean about being sort of two halves. The northern part of this map is the town. The southern part is more out into the fields. Oh, blimey, left that late. You see what I mean? There's lots of little small fields. It's not a big agricultural map. This is another one of those real pleasant, relaxing, just come on and play. Just enjoy farming for farming. This is not farming on a massive industrial scale, you know. Patchwork quilt of small fields. So we're coming up to the top to the kind of logging point, the logging area, and this is another part of the map I think is brilliantly made. It's laid out really, really well. Have I missed the turning? No, it's just a bit further up here. There's a little track to the left here which takes us out to logging area. It's not the only way to get to the logging area, we can go another way, but it's kind of, I don't know, I just get the feeling when we, like I say, I was talking to Virtual Farm about his Land Rover mod. It would be fantastic around here. I don't know whether or not the guys that made this are off-roading enthusiasts possibly, but I really do get that feel. This is kind of a Land Rover trials course, you know. You're not going to get big heavy machinery around here, but you come down to a very low swampy area. But it's well made, you know. It's an area that if you don't do logging you'll probably never ever come out to. I love the collapsed bridge. It's little details like that that add that kind of immersive feel to a map. And this is where we get into the forestry area proper. So this is what the bits you can actually buy in small chunks. You haven't got to do it in one huge bit. You've got little tracks that disappear off in different directions. You've got the river that runs through, so there's little fords all over the place that take you through the rivers here. I've got to find my way back out again. I think it was this way, wasn't it? Yeah. But that goes off in that direction, and you can kind of have a bit of an explore through the woods. There's plenty to do. But this addition here, the log bunks, that's nice. I like that. You can drag them out, skid them out, put them on there ready for collection. You can have your lorry come up the main sort of track here and then load them off the log bunks onto it. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Where am I heading to now? Let's go out this way, I think. Right. So we're going to head to, we've got another couple of sell points. We've got a sell point, I think, and then we've got the chicken coop mod. So, sell point just up here. There's people everywhere on this map. Where is it? I don't want to miss it. Here we go. So this one here, not a lot of room. Again, you're not going to get big machinery, big lorries, trucks, that kind of stuff in here. So we are now, we've come across the top here, through the woodland, come down a little bit here. We are at Grain Elevator East, which, I don't know, it is Grain Elevator East, but that's the Grain Elevator East, tucked away just inside here. And then we come round to the modded chicken bit, which again I think is cool. It's like free range chickens. Well, it's not like free range chickens, it is free range chickens. The thing is, and it's weird, sometimes you find with a small map, you whiz round a map tour very, very quickly because it's a small map, there's not a lot to get round. What I think is brilliant, what I'm really enjoying about this one, it's a small map, but there's loads to see. It's not like you know, you get around quick and go, oh, that was it, there's nothing else. There is a fuel station just there, tucked behind the trees. Kind of bypass that a little bit. Open the gates here, please open. So, we come in here. We've got this nice big open area here. And like I say, this is a mod. This bit here with the shed and the chicken area, this is your feed area. This is where you can buy and sell your chickens, roosters, etc. Actually, what we'll do, let's click on that. Let's buy, I don't know, let's buy one of each. Confirm. There you go. So they'll free range all across here, and then your egg boxes will appear just here. It's very cool. I like it. Moving on. So now we're going to head back south down the map a little bit and then head out towards the eastern edge where we've got the kind of railroad part of the map and the biogas plant. So we turn left now. I mean, looking out across, it's got a, like I say, a very picturesque quality to it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to keep saying that because people will get bored of me saying it, but it has. It just has. I think as well because the roads are kind of winding and the rivers kind of flow all over the place. It's not just like someone's gone, oh yeah, we need a river on this map, plonk, and just put a river. So this is the bit I showed you earlier on. This also has a sign, like the one at the main farm. So this is the yard that you kind of, if you start on a new farmer, you own. It starts on here already. So you've got a yard up here with a lot of storage space. So if you want to put grain and stuff, I guess, if you want to pile sugar beets up in there, that kind of thing. But this belongs to you. You own this. Now, if you start on Farm Manager or start from scratch mode, all of this is still here. You don't start with any vehicles, but you do still start with the chickens, you start with the silo, you start with the cow pasture. The pig enclosure is there no matter what you do. So if you started on either of those and you didn't want any of that, you can sell them. That will bring your slot count down to 493 of 1299. But to be fair, because that main yard is quite fairly crowded, you're going to be slightly limited to how many other placeables of those types you're going to be able to put on. Although what you could do is just pick a field area somewhere else on the map and decide, okay, I'm going to put my farm here instead. It's entirely up to you. You could have that as an industrial part of the map if you wanted to, or if you're playing with friends, you could have multiple farms around the map. It's entirely up to you if you do it on multiplayer. So up along here, we're now heading right out towards the eastern edge of the map. We've got the biogas plant. Now, I would say it's kind of standard fare, and it is in so much as the actual biogas plant itself, but how it's included into the map, again, there's not that feel that, oh, we need a biogas plant, plonk, there's your biogas plant. It's been blended into everything that goes on very, very well, apart from one thing. So your digester is just there, your digestate tank is just there, your byproducts, and you can see where you unload from. They put the hazard marked area on. And then we've got our bunker silos. Now when you look at the natural feel and how everything's laid out on this map, and you get the feeling it's a used thing, and then the bunker silos don't. The bunker silos seem to be lacking, not in texture, but they look like they're brand new, you know, like the rest of the map's used, lived in, everything's been done for a long time, and the rest of the biogas plant looks like it has been, but these look kind of, I mean, it could well be, if you want to put it into your story, your narrative of whatever, it could be the bunker silos have recently been replaced, maybe. But I don't know, it seems a little bit strange to me that it just seems, they really do stand out. It's almost like sandstone, very clean, bright sandstone. Anyway, that's what I point out. Again, it's, you know, it's not a huge criticism. It's not saying, oh, don't play this map because of this, but it's glaringly obvious. When I drove into the biogas plant, you look and think, whoa, well, they seem a bit kind of, you know, a bit bright and clean, but I just... So, on the eastern edge of the map, looking out, this is another feature I think I like a lot. I think Oxygen David was one of the first people, Frontier Design guys, Bullet Bill, that did this to great effect, and a lot of people are kind of doing it. They may not have been the first, I'm just saying they're the kind of first maps I recall them doing it on, where you come to the map edge, but the map edge, the map kind of continues. They've added fields and stuff in, which you can't use, you can't actually get to, but you don't feel that you're at the map edge. You don't feel it's that sudden solid wall of, you know, it either drifts off into a blurred nothing, or you've got a very solid kind of backdrop wall that's been put in. I like a map where you get that edge that seems to go off into the distance, so you get that feeling the map goes on and on and on. I don't know, it's just one of those things that I think is a very good feature of a map. So, we're going to head back down. There's little bits like this as well. You kind of look and think, totally unnecessary. This little kink in the road that comes round, but there's obviously a reason. Over time the road was put in, there was something there, a feature, rocks, whatever, and they've had to build the road this way. I just think it's brilliant. Little winding tracks to go over the place. I'm fully aware this is taking quite a while, but I want to kind of show it in its, I say all its glory. I do think it's good. This part of the map I found a little bit frustrating, only, you know, a tiny bit, because if you want access to sell points, you kind of, I say you want to be in and out, not necessarily, but it's kind of a little bit, you've got the railroad tracks, which again, it's not usable, but there's no easy access to each of the sell points. You have to go in past one. They're kind of, there's basically just one way in, one way out. I should have just said that. It would have been a lot easier, wouldn't it? So sell point here. This is the barn sell point. Easily noticed by the straw on the floor. And then we've got a livestock market just here. So buying and selling of animals, or collection of, happens just here. We've got some static animals in the little pens just here. So that's that sell point. And then we'll head round. We've got the central grain elevator. There are a few ditches knocking about, which you have to be quite wary of. You can get in and out of them, but you can very easily roll a vehicle. I'll go into the left first. So we've got the central grain elevator. I think hang on. Was it the central grain elevator, this one? I think so. We'll check on the map, which is just here. That's another one of these sell points. I am going to double check that. We've come down the windy road. Yes, central grain elevator is just there. We've just done the barn and animal dealer. So we've got train station, mill, railroad silo east, and sawmill we're going to go to next. But like I say, from here you can't get across to that without going back out the way you came. So it's that kind of one way in, one way out feel. Excuse me. So, sawmill. We've got a lumber sell point just there. We've got a wood chip sell point just there. And then we're at this little bit here, and this is the bit that confused me a little bit initially. You've got two grain carts, wagons for the trains just here. So we've got, there is your sugar beet, and there is your potatoes. Now weirdly, in the Modhub, in the store screen, these are separate sell points. But they're right next to each other. I'm not quite sure why they didn't just have it as one sell point. So on the, like I say, on the screen here, go across, we've got railroad silo east, which you do your sugar beet in, and then we've got train station mill, which you do your potatoes in. If I highlight one of those, tag place, you'll see that's tagged there as one of them. If I go back in, untag it and then tag railroad silo east, that puts that one there. So they are actually on here as two separate sell points. A bit peculiar, but anyway, that's where they are. So your sugar beet and your potatoes are there. Untag place. Right, we're going to do a bit of a drive now. So we're here at this part here, and this is what I'm talking about, a map of two halves. We come down the road, and this is kind of where it ends. You have to go all the way back up and across the roadway to come back down to get to this part of the map, which I think could be a little bit frustrating. There is a little track just here, so what I'm going to do is come out and I'm going to go across country and get to this track, because at the bottom of the map there really only is this one road here that takes you down to the grain mill. The rest of it is all made up with these little trackways, which we'll have a look at in a second. So the top part of this map is all the roads, most of the sell points, everything going on, and then the bottom half of the map is very kind of open, a lot of fields with only one sell point really down there. So that's where I'm going to head to now. So I'm on that track now. If we look on the map, I'm now down here. We've got the railroad track which runs along here, which meets up with this one here. This marks the western edge of the map. This obviously comes down a little bit further, and you've got the southern edge of the map is really along this bit of line. So the actual railroad kind of hems in the sides of the map. This again, what I was talking about being off-road enthusiasts. It's kind of bumpy, and these zigzag and weave their way around the map at the bottom part of the map. But I like that. You know, it has a kind of, weirdly, a kind of mud runner feel to it. I don't know. It's very cool. And this does a loop round. It takes you to the various different fields down the bottom of the map, just to give you an idea and a feel for what it's like down this bottom part. and this will loop all the way around field 14 and then back to where we were a minute ago. What I'm going to do is try and cut through. Oh no, I just realised all the tree stumps. That's alright, they're not real in essence. So that loops right the way around. So that's kind of the southern edge of the map, just off there. The track comes back around here. So I thought it might be a ditch there. That could end badly. Got another water course just there, which we're going to go over again in a second. So I'm just going to head back the way we came. Little kind of, almost like a little boating lake, fishing lake. Not boating lake, but a fishing lake. We are heading to the final sell point. Across the railroad tracks again. And heading this way. So that's our main farm. That's where we started out. So we're south of that at the moment. And this is the only road now on the bottom part of the map. Across the railway. Again, things like that, the bridge over the river, the nice details. It fits the landscape, it kind of blends in nicely. Doesn't have that feel like, oh, we need a railroad bridge here, let's just put anything on there. It just feels right. Always indicating. Let's overtake. We have the speed. Which brings us to the last of the sell points, which is just down here. So we are now down here at the grain mill. Go around, right around the back here. It's tucked away just inside there. Very nice indeed. So like I said, the edge of the map here on the western side is denoted by the railway. So if you carry on driving, you just kind of thump into the edge, won't let you go any further. There you go. That's the thing, it kind of catches you out. You get that feeling, wow, the map goes on and on and on, but it doesn't. So back onto one little tracks, we're going to kind of head back towards the farm. We won't get all the way back to the farm. That's all the sell points. That's the map. The northern part, and then the southern part, which is a bit more open with lots more of these bumpy tracks. I think you've got the feeling already for what it's like, what it feels like, what it looks like. It's not going to be for everyone. If you like your big machinery, big open fields, you're not going to like this map. You're not going to play it. I say you're not going to like it. You can like a map. You absolutely can. You can look at it and you can appreciate what's been done on it, and it may be a good map, but just not your cup of tea, not something you want to play on. I like it. The whole time I've been driving around it, I'm kind of smiling at I don't know what it is about it. It's nice. It's a good map. Well made. Lots of nice features, lots to look at, probably loads more to find that I've probably missed, you know. Buying and selling of seed, fertiliser, grain, that kind of stuff, if you want to do that, would all be done from the store with pallets and those kind of things, unless you want to put placeables in, and that is the beauty now then with landscaping placeables, that kind of stuff. Anything you haven't got, if you want it, you can put it in. That's the beauty of it. So that's ALSOSZEG Agri Farm by gamerhzs at BaluFSH, featuring Not Ready. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. If you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.